Hey everybody. Um, it's crazy times, right? It's a lot going on. I've been seeing friends and loved ones posting about how they're feeling some anxiety with everything going on. And so I'm sure it's not just, you know, people in my community who are feeling that. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to post a little bit of something about how our family is navigating this process as a retreat time, um, because I was supposed to be going on a silent retreat during this period, and then with everything happening, I already had the feeling that it didn't make much sense for me to be trying to go away from my family for a silent meditation, and then it ended up getting canceled anyway. So it was all perfect timing, and I decided to transition to retreating here at home. The dog is here. She's participating in the retreat as well. So, one of the things that we always do, or that I always do when I'm going on a retreat, is to take that time to rest and to nap and to catch up on sleep, because I'm sure I'm not alone in um, the fact that a lot of life tends to be go, 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 go. And when you finally stop having all kinds of external stimulation, suddenly you realize that you are very, very tired, and any time is a good time for a nap. So at home, since we are doing retreat time, we have been taking family naps or having quiet time at least once a day for a period of time. And we are not scheduling it. We're not being restrictive about how we're navigating that. We're just kind of collectively as a family saying, seems like now would be a good nap. And so um, the other day when we were doing that, we were lying down for a nap, and our son was insisting that he was not sleepy. He just wanted to read a book quietly, but he wanted to be in the room with us. And then I guess the nap energy took him over, because then he ended up putting his book down and taking a nap as well. So nap time, rest and recharge. We I know all of us have been hearing about the pace of life being so fast and things constantly speeding up, and how we're always in a rush. And our systems aren't really designed to be doing that constantly, and it's depleting. And so this is a good time for us to allow ourselves to slow down and allow ourselves to be still as we're being at home, if we can. Because I know there are still people who are having to work and having to take care of others and having to do a lot. And so that's also an opportunity for us to practice appreciation and gratitude and compassion for those who are still moving around in the world for whatever reason. We have a lot of healthcare workers who are still working very, very hard, and without all of the resources and information that they need. And so this is an opportunity for those of us who are sheltering in place right now to express and to send out appreciation and gratitude for them. Also being aware that when we are resting, our bodies are able to recharge and better able to fight things off. And so potentially we won't become additional people that our healthcare workers are having to take care of. So that's another benefit of taking naps. Another thing that we are doing is lots of hydration and drinking plenty of water, and also drinking some nourishing teas. So we've got lemons. We've been doing lemon, cayenne, uh, ginger or garlic, and you can do one or the other, and honey in a tea. So whenever I go on silent retreat, inevitably, just as I get close to the retreat center and too far from a town or a city to buy any medicine, I come down with a cold. because my system's been under pressure for entirely too long. And it's like, oh, we're about to rest. So, um, yeah, I get to the retreat center. I usually start feeling something coming on. And so since I don't have anything with me, I've just started a practice where I drink this tea 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and then in the evening when we don't have dinner but we have tea time. So I do that, and I find that by the end of the retreat, I'm usually recovered, or I have managed to fight off whatever may have been trying to take me over. So we've been doing that. I've been making it for my family, and we've all been drinking it collectively. And then also I have been making elderberry spritzers with elderberry syrup and a little bit of sparkling water. I did hear from a friend who is an herbalist who said that it's looking like there are certain things that can overstimulate your immune system. And so if coronavirus is hitting, you don't want to be taking things that are overstimulating your immune system. So that's something to be aware of. But for now, we've been drinking it collectively at home. And then the other thing that we've been doing is cooking. So I'm not a big chef. I don't like to cook. I do like to eat though. And and one of the things that has really bugged me for a long time is how long it takes to prepare all kinds of different foods, and how making food just gets in the way of me doing my life. But now there's just nothing but time. So we've been preparing meals, but we've also been doing it in a conscientious kind of way, because we had already been transitioning to looking at ways that we could decrease the amount of food waste that we make. We still make entirely too much. It's an ever evolving practice and process. But we've been practicing making meals that are less wasteful, where whatever's left over, you eat that, and or it goes into the ingredients from that go into what your next meal is. And so that's been creating some opportunities for creativity in our household. So we've been doing that as well. So basically the things that I'm following are the processes for when you're going into labor, and how to ascertain whether or not it's real labor or, just preparatory contractions and things like that. So generally what you want to do is eat something, drink something, move your body around, and get some rest. And if after all of that happens, you are still having contractions, that's the indication to go into the hospital or to call someone. And I trained as a doula, and so and I found that in that process of training and then becoming a mother myself, doing those simple steps has really been effective to help me manage my uncomfortable feelings. Eat something, drink something, move your body, get some rest, wash your ass. And we've been hearing the importance of washing ass and hands. So should have been doing it anyway, but now let's really, let's deeply commit to this process. And then do something for your spirit. So meditate, pray, connect with people that you love, do something for someone else. If you are finding that being within yourself is uncomfortable and unpleasant and challenging, and you're stressing, maybe what you need to do is put a little bit of thought, time, and effort into others. So we've been doing that as well, connecting with loved ones, each other in the household, but also we've got this technology here. So let's make use of the technology. I've been seeing and loving so many of my friends, and then also people in the wider world who are in their spaces but creating things to share with others, which is part of what inspired me to do this. So are you a musician? Make some music. Are you an artist? draw something, paint something, create something. Use your energy. You guys, think about the amount of beauty and amazing things that have come out of people being stressed and anxious and upset and heartbroken and grief-stricken and all of that. We can create beautiful things out of tragedy and out of challenge. And this is an opportunity to do that. Us just being in our homes, stressing and being anxious and isolated is not going to serve us. It's not going to serve anyone else. And I know that we're worried and there are a lot of questions that are up. We don't know what the world is going to look like coming out of this. There are things that are going to change and never go back to normal. The world around us is shifting, but it's been needing to shift for a long time. And now it's something that we can't ignore anymore. My mother was pointing out to me because we've been impacted by the fires several times in the last few years. And my mother was saying, think about how evacuating for the fires over the last few years has prepared us for this situation, which is true. You know, we already knew what to get when we were going to the store and shopping. We've done the kind of sheltering and the packing up and leaving. So all of that kind of stuff has prepared us to be here in this moment. But also, it's been very interesting to me that we've been seeing these pockets of intensity happening in different parts of the world at different times. So there's been the fires, there have been hurricanes, there have been tornadoes, there have been earthquakes, there have been all of these things, these massive things that have been happening in pockets and places where it's either happening to you or you can be like, oh, it's happening over there and it's not impacting me at this moment. But right now we're seeing something that is happening and it's impacting all of us at the same time. And it really emphasizes and brings home the fact that we are part of a global collective and we have been needing to think of ourselves as part of a global collective because all of us are in small and large ways being impacted by the behaviors and the actions of others in the world. And we are impacting others, but it's been a little bit easier to not have that awareness. So another retreat practice is the metta practice and compassion practice. And so this is a great time for us to be doing that for ourselves as well as for others. Let's see. So we're eating, drinking, resting, moving our bodies. Moving our bodies. So we went for a nice long walk today in our neighborhood with our dog, who just walked away. And we encountered other neighbors who were out walking their dogs and one woman who was out walking her child. And it was very sweet to wave and say hi as we crossed the street to maintain distance from each other. So there's some sadness in that and strangeness in that, but also that urge to connect, which I really appreciated. And even the dogs were like wagging their tails and looking at each other and all of that was going on. So it was a really sweet way to start the day. And I took pictures of flowers that we were seeing on our walk because spring is here. And so I got some beautiful pictures of that. Yesterday we worked out in the house and moved our bodies around that way. We also have been doing some dancing and moving our bodies that way. We have been cleaning because this is such an opportunity, you guys. This is such an opportunity for all of the projects that we have been wanting to do. and haven't had time to get to. All of the closets that have become full of clutter and things that have been tossed into the back and the depths and then forgotten about. All of the cabinets. We cleaned the kitchen and cleared all of the cabinets, doing an inventory of what we had, but also to get rid of things. We had spices in there that had been sitting in there. I mean, not in that particular cabinet, but had been carried around from other places that we lived in the last like decade since 2008. 2008. We pulled one thing out and my husband was like, this thing expired the year after we met. We've known each other for 13 years. He was like, this expired the year after we met. We've lived in, I think, 3 different places since then and carried that one little thing around. We should have put it on an altar or something. But yeah, that's been very helpful, clearing out cabinets, figuring out what we have, and doing an inventory so that we aren't feeling this like anxiety and stress about things running out. We're going to have to figure things out. We're going to have to make a lot of adjustments, but it's very helpful, and this is another retreat practice, if you can just keep coming back to right here in this moment. Come to your breath so that you're inhaling and exhaling, and allow yourself to, if you have areas where you tend to hold tension and tightness in your body, allow yourself to focus in those areas and release them. If you're feeling some anxiety in your belly, you can just put your hands on your belly and inhale and exhale slowly there. 5 breaths, 3 to 5 breaths can really change how you're feeling in the moment. So do that. But also, if you find yourself starting to have anxiety coming up or feeling like you're freaking out, just come back to this moment. Right now, in this moment, are you okay? Are you okay in this moment? Separate from the physical sensations of your stress and your fear. Are you okay? Are you safe? Are you able to eat something, drink something? Do you need to rest? Have you been breathing? I learned a lot and continue to learn a lot from ways that I hold my breath when I'm starting to get stressed. I hold my breath and then my body is like, we're not getting oxygen. Are we dying? If you in this moment are just holding your breath, then pause, take a deep breath, and exhale, and come back to this space and this moment. The other thing is to be conscientious about what you're taking in. So I love zombie movies and zombie shows. Love them. Love them. I feel like I've kind of been preparing for some kind of an apocalyptic event by watching zombie movies. So I was like, oh, one of my favorite zombie shows is back. Let me watch it. And it turns out that watching a zombie show during an actual pandemic is not my zhish. So I had to turn it off. Be conscientious about what you're taking in. If you are watching a lot of things and hearing a lot of things that are freaking you out and stressing you, take a break. Turn it off. If you have a lot of people that you tend to be connected to who are very much into like the stress spraying where they're venting and just like hollering into the void, like take a moment, have some compassion. That's how they're navigating their stress. And then stop. Just stop for a moment. Stop letting that come into you right now. If you have the capacity, maybe interrupt their stress spiral. If you don't, just stop for yourself and for the people around you. Because if there's an action that you can take that is effective, it's best that you take it. If there's no action that you can take to address this issue that is effective, then you spraying into the void is actually contributing to harm. It's not necessary, okay? Come back into yourselves. Come back into this space. Allow yourself to simplify. Let your life simplify. We've been needing to simplify, so many of us, for a really long time. Simplify. Eat something, drink something, get some rest, wash your ass, move your body, do something for your spirit, connect with others, okay? Do those things just every day. You can do a combination. What we've been doing is a combination of something of a schedule and following a free flow. We've got a general schedule in case we find ourselves sitting and noticing that we have nothing to do and we're feeling some type of way. We have energy arising in us that we need to let out, or that we're having feelings coming up and we don't have anything to do with them and any place to go with them. We haven't really gotten to that place yet because we've been kind of following the schedule that we usually follow, and also we've been being in this free flow, and because I was already planning to be on retreat, so we've been doing something like a retreat schedule. So make sure that you're eating. And another thing about the eating, when you're on retreat, the idea is that you are eating just enough. So you're not eating until you're full, and you're not walking around hungry, because then that's a distraction and it's an added stress. You're just eating enough so that you've eaten and you're feeling good, but your body can rest and relax. Enjoy your meals. Eating can be a great meditation. Connecting with others can be a really great meditation during meals. Turn off like the television and a lot of that stuff, or just give it its certain time. But it's okay to just allow yourself to come into this moment and to be with what's happening. And then the last thing that I wanted to touch on is the fact that when something is happening, it can happen when you go on retreat. It can happen when you go on vacation, but when you go on vacation, there's other stuff distracting you, so you might not feel it as much. But whenever you come out of your life in some way and start doing other things, there can be feelings of stress and pressure and anxiety about the things that you would usually be doing that aren't happening right now. So if you're finding that you're having some anxiety and some stress coming up because you don't know what's going to be happening, that makes perfect sense and it's understandable. And if you sit with it and allow yourself to be with it, then you may find that those feelings of stress and anxiety will dissipate, and then you will be better able to think of solutions and to come up with ideas about creative ways to address what's taking place. For right now, just being in the experience and allowing yourself to be gentle with yourself, and to reach out if you need to connect with people around you, and then to take care of your body and your system. Tend to your temple, your physical temple and your external temple, and just let yourself slow down, and we will see what comes out of this at the end of all of this time of sheltering in place and being internal with our families or on our own. it's a very, very strange time. And it makes perfect sense that we would be feeling stress and concern and worry and anxiety. And we are also capable of managing all of that. And there's going to need to be a period of creation and rebuilding in some form coming out of this. And ideally, we will be people who have been able to make use of this time to be clear and to get clear about what we want our communities to look like, what we want our nations to look like, and how we want our governments to be caring for its citizenry. I think we've been seeing a lot of broken systems and a lot of ways that there have been people who have been allowed to fall through the cracks. And this is really bringing all of that up to the surface. And we need to sit with that, and we need to feel the feelings associated with that. And we can also come out of this with a lot of clarity about what we want, expect, and demand from the people whose jobs are in service to their cities and states and country. And there are going to be a lot of opportunities for new ways of being in the world. But for right now, take a deep breath and be gentle with yourself and be gentle with the people around you. Be in connection with the people around you as much as possible. Get plenty of rest, because you know you probably have been long overdue for several naps. Stay hydrated. Make sure that you're eating, and make sure you keep coming back to your breath whenever those feelings of stress and anxiety start coming up. I'll probably be making more of these because I've got all kinds of time. And I hope you'll watch them because you've got time too. And maybe this has been beneficial. Okay, everybody, take care. Go take a nap right now. Drink some water. Eat something on a beautiful plate. Find a way to feel good today, because we need it. We need people who genuinely and truly feel good and have space in themselves to care for others. And thank you to everyone who is continuing to do work in this world, all of our medical professionals who are caring for people. Thank you all. And to all of the child care providers who have not yet been given the order to shelter in place, and people who have been reaching out to the people in their communities who aren't able to go out, who are immunocompromised and who for whatever reason haven't been able to go and bulk up on supplies for themselves. To all of the people who have been connecting with each other and doing that, thank you, because that's been, hearing about those kinds of things has been keeping me inspired and motivated and hopeful about what can emerge from all of this. Take care, everybody.